couple of short bus shorties for you today. First thing we're going to talk about is something that happened at Star Wars Celebration just yesterday. Whether or not you still keep up with Star Wars, hey, that's your own personal business. I do not mind whatsoever if you completely checked out. But there is something that has kind of like been a little bit weird. The casting, the choice of director, the fact that some people who have been absolutely pivotal in how Disney Star Wars has failed recently being left out of it completely. So let's just go straight into this. You know what to do right now. Subscribe. And of course, what we are talking about is Ryan Gosling starring in a Star Wars movie called Starfighter, announced Star Wars Celebration 2025 in Tokyo with Sean Levy directing. Now, this is the guy who did Deadpool and Wolverine. He has also had a lot to do with Stranger Things. So, I think I did video. I can't remember if it's on this channel or another channel that I was with, but I have done a video talking about this. I said Ryan Gosling was pretty much set in stone. The movie was going into pre-production, but had not yet been announced. Now it is officially announced, and they have been trying to get Mikey Madison to co-star with Ryan Gosling, fresh off of her Oscar win for Anora. We have not heard anything definitive on that. It seems like it's not going to happen, but we don't know yet. Also, story details have not really come out. But what we do know, some of the story details, is that it's set 5 years after The Rise of Skywalker, and it apparently has nothing to do with the sequel, prequel, or original trilogy. And if you were expecting Kathleen Kennedy to announce her retirement in front of Star Wars fans in Japan, think again. Of course not. She's going to announce her retirement, if she ever does, or just keels over, groveling at the feet of this guy, Ryan Gosling, who basically can do no wrong until now. Now, granted, we don't know exactly how this movie is going to turn out. We don't know how much creative control that Sean Levy actually has, but Ryan Gosling he's been a Star Wars fan ever since he was a kid, even sharing photos of him with Star Wars bed sheets whenever he was very young. And a lot of people don't know, but I was rewatching Goosebumps, that TV series from the 90s, and there is an episode where Ryan Gosling is actually in it as a very young child. I just thought that was a cool little Easter egg that I don't think a lot of people talk about. But in this major announcement, they revealed that Ryan Gosling will headline the new standalone film and has titled Star Wars Starfighter. Will it have anything to do with the game? Obviously not, because it's set in a different timeline, but is there other things? All right, directed by Sean Levy. Yeah, we've got that. Do we have a supporting cast? No, we don't have that yet, but we do have a writer. So it's set approximately 5 years after the events of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Starfighter promises to introduce audiences to an entirely new cast of characters and explore a previously uncharted timeline within the Star Wars universe. Thank goodness. Please let it stay that way. Please don't rely on member berries and cameos and all this other kind of stuff. Like, we don't need it. Make your own Star Wars stuff. Even though Andor does reference events from the original trilogy and like it's all leading up to that, at least they're not bringing back a lot of the same characters. Only minor characters that were more fleshed out in the books, like Mon Mothma. But Levy himself has emphasized that the film is a standalone. It's not a prequel. It's not a sequel. It's a new adventure. Good. This is what we kind of need, and let Ryan Gosling do his thing. Give him a character. Obviously, he has a character that he is dead set on bringing to the screen and that he can stand behind. And Gosling expressing his enthusiasm for the project, and that was that photo that I was talking about. He said, I guess I was probably dreaming about Star Wars before I even saw the film. The change in mood for the development of this film is stark. That announcement played into nostalgia, longtime low of the franchise George Lucas built. And I actually love this part right here. Because, oh yeah, we're talking about the stuff that George Lucas built. That's what we were a fan of. And then Kathleen Kennedy at the celebration, she only appears in a little backdrop fashion on the stage. Yeah, she's sitting back. You know, let the gods drink in the sunlight. That's what you need to do. So, on top of the director, on top of the person who's going to be headlining the series, or not the series, but the movie, we have the writer for it, penned by Jonathan Schropper, with production set to commence in the fall of this year. Now, Sean Levy has gone out on record and said that already, But now it is actually confirmed by Disney. Now it has been put out into the ether, and it started in Tokyo. This film joins a lineup of upcoming Star Wars projects. Yeah, we know about The Mandalorian, and according to Kathleen Kennedy, Baby Yoda, directed by Jon Favreau and slated for release in May 2026. And those videos are taken down now, but if you did get to see some of the trailers that were shown at a Celebration Star Wars, yeah, it's going to focus heavily on Baby Yoda, and they give they give Pedro Pascal's stunt double. Basically, they give his stunt double a it looks so much like the end of Mandalorian season 2, where they have fake CGI Luke Skywalker, or the end of Rogue One, where Darth Vader comes through and lays waste to everyone in the hallway. That's what it plays to, and then the rest of it plays to, oh, cute baby yoga. Baby yoga. Now I'm quoting Weird Al. What is going on with this? Actually, we don't know what's going on with Disney Star Wars in the first place, and this is why it's failed so much. Now they're relying on a couple of flashy action scenes, and they're going to rely on the cuteness factor so you can get kids involved. After all, Star Wars is a kids film. It's definitely not a family film with underlying values that can span generations. It's definitely not that. It's only for kids and chicks. Sure, Star Wars was really kind of never for chicks. It was more like a young boy kind of thing, to middle age, to teenage, and all that other kind of stuff. But let's forget about all that. We're just playing semantics at this point. And if production takes place in the UK, now they have to actually be forthcoming with their budgets, which is something that Mandalorian Grogu is not going to do, or not going to have to do at this point in time, because they are filming that in California, which means they can basically sit on those numbers and inflate them and not really tell us what they're actually using them for a couple of years before they have to be publicly released. The UK tax benefits actually make it just like, no, you have to have this stuff up front. We ain't playing around with it. This is also something that has allowed Disney Plus shows such as The Acolyte to face such terrible criticism for insane budgets. Oh my gosh, such terrible criticism for spending that much fucking money to make that absolute dog shit. You could have just gone to McDonald's and flushed that dog shit down the toilet. Does the same thing, or it sits in your belly for 3.5 years. With Star Wars in such steep decline, hiding the cost might be worth it, even in spite of tax credits. So I guess they haven't. I guess if it's going into pre-production, that means there'll be location scouting, and I would assume a lot of it is going to have to be done in a studio, which means that UK probably would be the place to do it. But this is all speculation. This is yet to be decided. With Gosling's involvement in a fresh narrative direction, Star Wars Starfighter aims to captivate both longtime fans and newcomers alike. As long as Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni get their fat noses out of it, I think this is actually something that could, and I stress again, could be something of value. At least it'll be entertaining. At the very least, Ryan Gosling can do an entire movie without talking, i.e., drive. He does talk a little bit in that, but like it's all under his breath. He's mostly just chewing on a toothpick, driving, and then killing motherfuckers. But like he could still make that character interesting. So you'll at least get butts and seats, at least for a little bit. We'll have to see where it goes from there. Until then, this is Multi from Mouth of Multi. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you later. Actually, we'll see you pretty soon here. Bye.